So, for today, I am going to be talking about my relationship with social media and how I feel about it. So, I use social media more so as a content creator because I post, videos here on YouTube, but I also consume it. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and I browse Reddit a lot. I consider YouTube and Reddit as social media, and that's really the only social media that I use. Some people's definition of social media might be different. For someone else, they might consider only Facebook and Instagram, Snapchat. I don't know what else is really popular nowadays, but some people might consider only that as social media. Now, I used to use all of that in the past, in high school, college, but eventually I stopped using them. I, deactivated my accounts on those sites, and it was for multiple reasons, I would say. But it really came down to two main things. So in high school, I started with Facebook, and I created a Facebook account in 2011. It was my freshman year of high school. And, back then, my parents were extremely sheltering and overprotective of me. They would not allow me to use the internet. They would be upset if they saw me on the computer. They wouldn't let me use or go on YouTube for the longest time. They were extremely against it. And naturally, they were also against me having a social media account, making a Facebook. I know MySpace was a thing back then. I never had it. But in high school, literally, it seemed like everybody had a Facebook account. And so, I wanted one too. So I just told my mom, hey, I'm going to make a Facebook account. And I remember, I was on my mom's laptop and she was sitting next to me, while I was making my Facebook account. But so I had, the Facebook account in high school, and, I used it throughout my high school years. And I also had a Twitter account that was really popular. When I was in high school, there was a point in time where people thought that Twitter was the cool social media site to use, and Facebook wasn't. And so I would have a Twitter, I had an Instagram account, I had a Snapchat account. So I had all of these different, social media sites that I was using, and I remember at the time I would follow these people in my high school, and I wasn't even friends with these people, but I just wanted to follow their profiles, and I guess just to feel like I'm not a total stranger. I remember I would just look at these people that I'm not even friends with, and I would look at their pictures of them hanging out with their friends, and I would feel kind of jealous, which is weird because, I had other friends that I hung out with, but I don't know, for some reason, looking at other people's social media posts somewhat made me feel jealous and made me feel like my life isn't complete, even though like I didn't really care for them. But at the time, this was my high school mindset. But, I remember with Instagram when it first came out, I think I created my account in like 2012, and Instagram was like the app for like, it was like the photographer's app, right? Because it was like all pictures. And I remember I was like really into like taking pictures on my phone and like adding filters and stuff. And, I thought that was pretty cool. Eventually, I had deleted, like, by the end of my high school career, I had deleted my Twitter account, my Instagram account. I felt like I was using too much social media at the time, so I decided, like, removing those two would be the best for me. So I still held on to my Facebook and my Snapchat. Still had Snapchat. And maybe I should explain what Snapchat is, because if I'm watching this like 50 years from now, I might not remember what this stuff is. Snapchat it's like a picture thing. Like you take a picture of yourself and then you send it to somebody else. And like when they open it, they have like, I think it's like 10 seconds. You have 10 seconds to view the photo. And then after that, it's like, it's gone. It goes away. Technically, I think you can save the photos if you just screenshot it. But then there's also the Snapchat stories where you post a picture. And I think a lot of the other social media sites have this thing. They call it a story, where you take a picture and it's up on your profile, but it's only available for, I think, like 24 hours. And then it goes away. So that's called a story. And that one is important for me to explain, because I'm going to go more into that one in a bit. So I still had my Facebook and I still had my Snapchat going into college. So in college, I think I started to, I still like used it, but I think I posted less. I wasn't like a big social media poster to begin with, but I feel like I just used it even less, in the sense that like I didn't really post much. I would still like, go on there every day and like just scroll through and, look at people's posts and everything. And same with Snapchat. Like I would send Snapchat pictures to like some of my closest friends, and I would view people's stories, but I wouldn't really post a lot myself, but I was still like consuming it, I should say. So my freshman year, there was these two people that I was pretty close with. Like I hung out with them all the time, and we would go to parties together, and we would always talk and everything. Towards the end of my freshman year, I noticed that the two of them, I think they were always like a little bit closer compared to me, these two other people. And then they were hanging out with this other group of people. Keep in mind, all of us are like the same age. We were all freshmen. And so like these two guys that I, was hanging out with a lot, they were hanging out with these other freshman people and I knew all of these people, but I wasn't really like a part of this group. Now, fast forward like a month or two into the summertime. So this is now the summer of 2016, summer after my freshman year of college. I'm looking at these Snapchat stories, and, the two friends that I was really close with my freshman year, I look at their Snapchat stories and, you know, they're like hanging out with all of these other people, these other freshman people that I knew as well. Like I knew all of these people, but they were all hanging out, and I wasn't invited, and I just wasn't a part of that group. And seeing that kind of sucked, because I thought that, you know, all of us were friends. So it kind of made me question, like, oh, like, you know, like what happened to me? And, you know, I kind of felt like I, I could have been included in this, but, yeah. So I think after that, for the rest of my college, for the next 3 years of college, like all of that whole group, like they all became like very close friends, like all throughout college. And like, I kind of like distanced myself away from that group. Now, the thing is, I had like other friends that, that I got a lot closer with. So I don't want this, I don't want you to think like, oh, like I only had two friends and like I lost them. No, I had other friends that I hung out with, but I just thought it was kind of weird because I knew all of them, and I don't know, I guess a part of me thought that like I could have like hung out with all of them more. So, you know, it was like seeing these Snapchat stories, you know, that made me a bit jealous. And sometimes, you know, even like, it's not like just these two people in general, but like, or I should say not those two people specifically, but in general, you know, sometimes I would see a Snapchat story of like someone like out at a party or something, or like on a nice vacation, or, you know, just out hanging out with friends, or someone is like with their partner or something, like taking a picture, and like I'm looking at this and I'm just like sitting at home alone. I'm like, oh man, like I wish I was doing something interesting right now, you know? So I guess the takeaway from this is that when I looked at these pictures, the stories on Snapchat, I got FOMO, the fear of missing out. And at the time, this used to get to me a lot. You know, I used to think like, oh, like how come I'm not a part of this? And, you know, like why was I not included? You know, it took me a while to realize, because like I don't really get that feeling anymore. I could care less, because, you know, I can enjoy myself when I'm alone. Like I can have fun by myself. Like I have so many things that I can do. You know, like whether it's YouTube, whether it's, you know, video games or manga, whatever it is, like there's so many like solo activities I do that I can entertain myself with. But, you know, I also have great friends now that, you know, that I can hang out with, that I can talk to. So that sense of FOMO isn't really there for me anymore, but back then it was, and it was because of, you know, me, you know, using Snapchat and social media. So, you know, one of the reasons why I stopped using the main social media apps like, you know, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram is because of FOMO. Now, the second reason why, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the FOMO, is the whole thing of like comparison. You know, I used to compare myself to other people, and, you know, I still do this to this day, and I think everybody does to an extent, but I will say I've gotten a lot better, and I'm a lot nicer to myself. So what I mean by this is, you know, you go on Facebook and you see people like they have like a photo album of them, like just them and their partner, and they all look happy and stuff. And, people posting, like, oh, like we just got engaged, or, like this person is now in a relationship with this person. Like they do like the Facebook statuses and everything. We're getting married or something, or, oh yeah, me and my partner, yeah, we just bought a house and we're living together now. It's so easy to compare yourself, especially when you are on social media following people that you know. It's very easy to just compare yourself. Because I would, go on Facebook and I look at, there's there was this girl my sophomore year of college that it was this girl that I met. I met her at a party, and then I also met her because we had a class together, and she was a year above me. She was a junior. I was a senior. She was a junior. I was a sophomore. And like, at first, we were just talking, like, and we were just like friends and stuff. And like, this girl, she was on the club tennis team, and we played like tennis together. Like we were just hanging out, and like, we were just talking as friends. Like I really didn't have feelings for her. But then as I got to know her, and she was like telling me about like, just like her outlook on life, and just like her goals, and just like, she was telling me like, learning about her like work ethic and personality, like I started to really catch feelings for this girl. Okay. And I was so into her. But she did not feel the same way. Like I tried, like I did like ask her out, and, basically she wasn't interested. She was not into me. But, I was friends with this person on Facebook, and, the next year, so after she graduated, so I'm a junior at this point, and she has graduated. Why am I getting so confused? Whatever it is, it's like basically like a year later, after like I tried like making a move, and, things didn't work out. This person, like, she got engaged like pretty shortly after college. I think the guy was like a military guy. I think that's why they got married pretty quickly. But I remember seeing that on Facebook, and I'm like, honestly, I felt kind of dead inside. I was like, man, like she could have been the one. But obviously no, like she was like, it would have never worked out. She was never into me. So, I was being all riled up for nothing. But seeing stuff like that, like, people like posting themselves like in their relationships, like that would just make me feel super sad. Because keep in mind, at the time when I was in college, like I was single all throughout college, but like I tried to date, but I didn't handle rejection well. So if I was like rejected by someone, I would kind of like, I would be really sad and give myself a hard time. And then when I, go on Facebook, or like if I see like a couple out in public, like I used to feel very lonely, because I'm like, oh man, like I wish I had that. So like whenever I go on Facebook, when I see these pictures and like these posts of people like in their relationship, and or like they're engaged, getting married, I compare myself, because I'm like, man, like this person is the same age as me. They are about to get married. They are settled down. They bought a house together. And me, on the other hand, I'm single. I can't get a text back. Every girl has turned me down. And it made me sad. And so, eventually I realized that when it came to social media, like if the social media, if all of this is like making me just so sad, if it's giving me FOMO, and if it's making me constantly compare myself to other people, I should just straight up stop using it completely, you know? So in 2020, and this is during like the, pandemic, I deactivated my Facebook account. I deleted my Snapchat like maybe like a year before that, but like by 2020, I only had a Facebook and I deactivated it. And honestly, like it was one of the best things and smartest things for me for me to do. And I realized like I'm so much happier. I'm so much better without using like Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Like I don't get the feelings of FOMO and as much, and I'm not, comparing myself to other people as much. And I just realized I'm better off without it. You know, it's so easy. You look at people's posts, like they're going on this like cool trip, and it makes you think like, oh, like I wish I could live their life, It's very easy to get into that mindset. If you also feel this way, like if you are using Instagram, social media, and you like look at these posts and you like feel unhappy after looking at it, I would suggest taking a break from it. But an even better solution is just stop using it. Get off of it. You really don't need it. Some people might say like, oh, well, how am I supposed to interact with my friends? Well, you probably have their phone number. If you don't have their phone number, then you're not that close of a friend with them, So what's the big deal? Because I also realize like when I'm looking at like looking at people's posts on these social media sites, like I could care less about what these people are posting, even though they're my friends. Like I could care less when it comes to like specifically what they're posting on social media. Cause like if they're my friends, like obviously I'm gonna like, I can still text them and, meet up with them in person, the social media aspect is like, that's just like an extra thing that honestly I don't need. And it's, it doesn't really do me any good. So yeah. And then when I use a lot of Reddit, I, watch a lot of YouTube, but I consider that to be a different kind of social media because in Reddit, like it's completely anonymous. I'm not really following anybody that I know. So I don't really get the sense of like FOMO and like the comparison from Reddit. And then YouTube, I create content, so I'm making videos, and then I consume content too. So, I watch other YouTubers, but I really don't get like the FOMO, the comparison feeling when I watch YouTube. I know there's like things on YouTube, or I should say like, TikTok is the one where like, I don't use it because people, they like to just like watch like these random videos, that's kind of a time waster. It doesn't add a lot of value, to your life. I think the word is called like doom scrolling. I think that's the term. Honestly, like if you have all of that time to doom scroll and like watch these pointless videos, like you could use that time to like do anything else. Like even like making content, making YouTube videos is way better than to just consume like some random stuff. Even like video games. I would say playing video games is way more productive and way better for you than just like sitting on your butt and scrolling on social media all day. you know, I can go into a whole nother conversation, and I can probably make a whole separate video on like things you can do instead of like just scrolling on your phone all day. I could make a whole nother video about that. But I am already at like 25 minutes now, so I do kind of want to wrap this up. So yeah. So basically, my takeaway with this video is that, you know, in the past, I used Facebook and Snapchat and all these social media sites, and I would get FOMO. I would compare myself to other people. And I realized that if I were to just delete these apps, if I were to just get rid of these social media sites, I would be much happier. I did that, and I was correct. I am much happier now that I don't use these social media sites like Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, yada, yada, boo. So yeah, if you also feel the same way, like if you get like the sense of FOMO, the comparison, just get rid of it and see what happens. You might be happier with your life.